Okay guys, been meaning to do this for a while. It is a review of my fairly well modified Baikal MP18 Hushpower 410. Been meaning to do this for quite a while now. There's a few people seen it. It has generated some interest. Basically, it's a single shot 410. And it is made by Baikal, Russian company, and it is an MP18 to start with, whose barrel is approximately a year long, to give you an idea. And this great chunk of metal on the end here is a Hushpower suppressor. It does add quite a bit of length to the gun, but even with the machine baffles in the end, it doesn't add a great deal of weight to it. I'm not going to take it apart and show you, because basically this is just an empty tube to about there. The barrel is ported. It has 7 or 8 sets of holes running down, and a plug, and then baffles in the end cap. It's starting to cork up quite nicely, which is reducing the volume, so I'm not going to take it off. If anything, it'll be messy. It has a custom paint job using Krylon. I have put the Krylon on too thick on the receiver, so it is chipping a little, but you live and learn. And then it's got a dusting on the stock, the foregrip, and on the suppressor housing, which I matte blacked first because it was a bit too shiny. I've added the paracord on the front. If anything, it just gives something nice to grip, carrying it around. And also I've added fibre optic bead sight on the front, which I've added some 3mm, 2.5, 3mm foam, about 1/8 of an inch, so it clears the paracord on the handle. I've added a weaver rail onto the top using mill put, and a tack vector reflex sight, and the shell holder on the back. Sling swivels, self-explanatory, and those that follow my Instagram will know. Made a paracord sling for it, which at first I thought was a bit too long, but what I found when shouldering the rifle, it actually drops it down nicely and gives a bit more clearance for the suppressor. It's not an ejector, it's manual, but I don't really mind. It takes down easy enough. Let's have a look at some of the details. Okay, starting at this end, like I said, shell holder, very basic, neoprene. I did have to cut a hole in it in the bottom for the sling swivel to go through. I also had to customise the swivel slightly as well to get it to fit through the stock, so there's a retaining screw through there. This section here is actually removable, and what I intend to do is put a ferrocerium rod and some basic fire starting gear inside there. Had it been in the US, or if I eventually get rimfire on my section 1, what I'll do is I'll get one of the adapters, and I'll put an adapter in there and a small amount of 2.2 long rifle, and just leave it in there as a backup. Same on the front with the sling swivel. Had to modify it because of the depth, but that was easy enough done. The sling has 3 30-foot sections of paracord with some cut off at the end upon completion. It was a pain in the ass to do, but not impossible. Just adds that custom touch. The clips, they came off an old 2-point sling, one of my airsoft guns. The paint job itself as you can see, starting to chip a little, but I did take my time over it. Rubbing point there, I think that's from where I've had it slinged. It's been rubbing on a knife on my leg. Hey ho, a used gun is a happy gun. So the foregrip was just dusted, the stock was just dusted, and the suppressor was matte blacked and then dusted to match. Paracord wrap on the front of the suppressor. It was more for storage of paracord than anything else. It makes it a bit more comfortable to grab hold of. The weaver rail was added with mill put. I would have liked to have drilled and tapped it, but I would have to find somebody to do that professionally. I wouldn't want it on off centre, it would drive me balmy. And I just had to remove a small amount of it there and there, just to allow the optics to fit on. And you can make out fibre optic bead at the front, which sits at the exact same height to just clear the paracord. The optics, if you focus, stupid camera, here's just a auto adjusting reflex sight. I would have liked to put better, and I will eventually probably put better on. This was good enough for the meantime. Basically, slots on there, and gives secondary point of aim. The recoil pad's nice and squishy, although it doesn't really matter too much. There's not a lot of recoil with it anyway, at least not with subsonic ammunition. And that is a practical shotgun club in the UK, which I'm a member of, primarily for the insurance, and secondly to, well, I want to compete this year in practical shotgun once I've got section 1, and it's nice and discreet, but it looks cool. Okay guys, I'm going to give you an idea of volume. Fire 3 shots from different range. These are Eli Magnum, 3-inch Magnum, extra long, and they hold around, I think it's a 160 number 6 shot, and they've got a 15mm fibre wad, which allows it to clear the baffles in the suppressor much easier. You can't use the long petal wads, as you can imagine. They get caught up in the baffles, although apparently the newer models, which this is, they've redesigned that to allow it to happen, but it's not recommended. So let's shoot it from some different ranges. that was approximately I'd say 10 yards, 25 to 30, and then 45 to 50 approximately, just to give you an idea. Now most of the noise with that is actually down to echo. If you're out in the field, there's very little noise at all, which I'll try and get some footage of. We'll see how we go, see how we get on. But next thing I'm going to do is show you, just to give you an idea, got some rat size targets which I'll set up, and give you an idea of spread pattern at different ranges on an animal size target. To give you an idea of how quiet it is, I've just done that sequence, fired those 3 shots, walked across here, gun's still only there, and I've just spooked a load of roosting pigeons from up there. So the effective decibel reduction is pretty impressive, because those pigeons were 20 yards max and they weren't spooked at all. My air rifle, 97k with the second wire suppressor on it, will spook pigeons 60-70 yards away. Okay, so I've got one up against that tree, one down there, and another one off into the distance. And I'll shoot them consecutively, closest one first, different ranges. We'll get an idea of what the spread's like. Now I normally carry my ammo in a 58 pattern magazine pouch, I think. No, it's not, it's a newer one than that. Ignore me. British Army ammo pouch, SE80 ammo pouch, but I've refilled that just for ease. So this one first, and we'll shoot it at about probably about 15 yards. This one will shoot from about 25 yards. And this one will shoot from probably about 30 yards. The first one, I got peppered pretty good, and there's quite a cluster there which could have been the wood, obviously through and through, but that's an easy kill. Second one was a little bit more scarce, but it was still kill on a rat sized target. Bear in mind I've still not really set up the red dot sight, so it could well be just need a tweak the reflex sight a little bit, which we'll find out in a minute. And the one at the longest range, definitely a kill. Nice little cluster there, couple hit on the bottom, but yeah, that was again rat sized target, still kills. Okay, so we're going to do the same again on some standard feeder archery targets. That's going to be around 3.5 inch, I can't remember exactly, I'm sure it probably says on it somewhere. 3.5, maybe 5-6 inches, 8 inches, over, so on and so forth, you get the idea. First shot we'll do at about 15 yards or so. So as we can see, my red dot is shooting slightly left, but you've got the bulk of the pattern here, which we'll have a closer look at later on. We'll do the same again. We'll do it from say 25 yards. So your spread much bigger, with the centre probably being around here. Again, kind of need to aim off a little, I think, on the longer range shot. There, we'll mark that up, and then this one we'll do from a much further range. So as you can see, that's pretty much peppered the whole square. That will be pushing it for game, really. But that was a good 40 yards. Okay, it's a bit of a trek for me to go all the way back to an open field, so we are going to get a bit of echo, I think. If I can find somewhere to stand the camera. Yeah, so we are going to get a bit of echo, but I'm going to walk a distance, fire maybe 3 shots at different distance into the open field, and you'll get an idea of what it sounds like. Oh, and I forgot to mention, to open the breech, 2 levers. Easy. See, for me, all the way over there, which is a fair distance, pretty much all I can hear is the hammer drop, then the echo, the thump. But it's not a crack, it's a subsonic thump. If you go out into where there's no woodland, which is a bit too much of a trek now, there's no echo. You get no reverberance off anything. It's literally just the hammer dropping. Okay guys, so there you go. What I'll do is get back to the house, we'll have a look on a table at what the targets look like, and I'll show you what it's like to clean, because it does have its negatives when it comes to cleaning, but it's no major drama. There's a couple of small additions I want to make, which I forgot about before I really started. It is a full choke shotgun, and to break the breech, and you've got a safety catch, ambidextrous, in the guard there. Hopefully I'll remember to add this in where it needs to be. If not, it'll get tacked on the end. And as a little bonus, okay, sorry about the light, it's about the best I can do. Target's got a bit wet, but we get the general idea. So this is using 3-inch Magnum subsonic Eli ammunition, approximately 160 pellets. I might be wrong on that. If anyone knows different, just correct me. Number 6 shot. So this is at 15 yards. It is aiming slightly off because I need to mess about with my red dot, the reflex sight a little bit. So that's an 8-inch circle. Most of the pellets inside there. Obviously, it's a kill shot. It doesn't really matter what you're aiming at. So then you've got approximately 25 yards. Again, I would say the center point is around there. You've got, so I'll say, a 12-inch circle. You've got most of the pellets within this. There's not much going to get through that, to be fair, and that's pushing just over 25 yards. This is, I've got it down as 40 yards, but I think it's quite a bit further than that, to be brutally fair. Probably knocking on 45. As you can see, I mean, that circle there is, so we've got 12, it's about 15-inch, and you've got, again, pushing it slightly off to the left. Most of the pellets are scattered around all over and off the target. I mean, there's one right down in the bottom corner there, up here, there. Got a little cluster up there, one across here. So that, to me, not usable for game really, but that is pushing it. I think if you get a compromise between 25, 45 yards, so say 35 yards is pushing your max. If I get the chance to do it and actually pace it out, then I'll do that. But that gives you an idea of the spread pattern using that one type of ammunition. I will be loading my own, just waiting for some powder to arrive and collecting some load data from all over the place, but there you go, that gives you a general idea. Now we'll clean it. Okay guys, I'll go through a few bits and pieces with regards to cleaning it, and also take some measurements, because I forgot to do that first hand. First of all, cheers. Right, first thing to note is gun bag. Thing is pretty long, so I did struggle at first to find a gun bag that fit it. However, once you start looking, they are everywhere, I suppose. This one was just a cheap one, until I can get something a bit better, but it does the job, serves the purpose. Okay, first thing to do, because I know how everyone doesn't like it, there you go. I kind of wish there was one in there now, freak somebody out. Never mind. Right, so first thing to do is we'll take some measurements. Now, can you see? Right. Full length of the gun is 50 inches. Trigger pull 15, or as near as damn it. Suppressor 22, and that's pretty much it really. Take the sling off. Taking it down. It's as easy as that. Right, first thing I did was check you're still in shot. I'll put that as a guide. There we go. First thing I did was buy a snake style pull through and a brush, only to find out that when you try and clean the barrel, and you drop a snake down through it, it either gets caught up in the baffles here or it doesn't hit the end of the barrel, and it is a pain in the arse. So one thing that I really dislike about the design, yeah, you could unscrew the cap off, but then of course you're going to end up covered in carbon and all the other chemical nasties that come out of there, and these are supposedly best when they're left unclean, and I have noticed a huge reduction in sound as it's got corked up inside. I will eventually take it apart when bits start breaking off and it starts rattling, but as far as cleaning it goes, really straightforward. This is just a jack pike, and it is long enough. Beach to muzzle. What you will be able to see when we do this is the holes in the barrel. So as you can see, there's not a great deal actually comes out of it. Yeah, I wanted to put a boar snake in the pistol grip, but there's no point really. So what I'm going to do is, when I get a bit more money, I'll probably get a boar snake anyway, and what I'll do, you can't really see anything there, can you? What I'll do when I get a boar snake is make a brass section to weight it, so I can drop it down through the breech, and it'll drop through the bottom. And that's just oiled, dirty, and clean one. That's it. Easy as that to clean. And for the outside, just give it a once over with a tough cloth. Just pay close attention to the section under here. And finally, as far as gripes go with the gun, you can't carry the gun with a shell in the breech with the hammer down. It's physically impossible. So if you want to carry the gun with a shell in the breech, you have to always have the gun cocked. There's no other way around it. Unlike a H&R where you've got the hammer on the back, on many of the other similar designs. Other than that, that's it really. There is a small pin on the back there that shows you that it is cocked, and then obviously that drops down, and then every time you break the gun it resets the trigger. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. Other than that, there you go. Quick and easy. Okay guys, trying to get some footage of the baffles. You can just about make them out there. And the end of the barrel and the plug. And you can't really see. There is 10 holes in the barrel. You just catch it there. There's 10 holes in the barrel, 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom.